Hey everyone, today is March 29th, and for the Bitcoin price, last weekend we saw the price of Bitcoin come down to the 50-day moving average over here. And we saw a nice bounce on Friday, this big green candle bullishly engulfing the previous candle, red candle. And on the weekend, it was a bit muted, but in the last couple hours, we saw a nice push above 58,000. We finally got above 58,000. But the question is, are we going to follow through and continue higher? Or are we going to come down lower and retest the 50-day and perhaps even go lower? Before we answer that question, please read this disclaimer, and you can pause this video as you read it. Okay, so as we discussed last week, I do think that the pattern we're seeing over the last few weeks is very reminiscent of the pattern that we saw in late December of last year, right, over here. And in this pattern, we saw a push up to the Fibonacci channel in the upper part, resistance, rejected down, finding support on the support level of the Fibonacci channel, pushing back up, trying to break through again, failing, consolidating sideways, down for one bear trap, pushing up, and then one push through the Fibonacci channel, right? And in this case, I think we're seeing something very similar, just on a longer time frame, right? Push up to the resistance, down, finding support, push up again, consolidate, one bear trap, bounce off the 50-day, move up, and then we might be seeing in the next few days or even hours a push up higher if we can get that, right? That would be awesome. So let's zoom in a little bit. So today particularly, we had a nice push up over the last few hours. A nice green candle, but we've been fading this. So the question is, why are we starting to fade a little bit? Well, the stock market opened a couple hours ago, and the dollar is continuing to push up higher. And we talked about how right now we're seeing a similar setup, a similar price action over the last few weeks in the dollar, where it's starting to gain strength. And last time we saw something similar price action wise on the weekly chart we're in right now was in 2018, where we found this base consolidate and we push higher, right? And what happened in 2018? What happened in 2018? Bitcoin was in a bear market, right? That rising dollar put a lot of pressure, a lot of downward pressure on Bitcoin. And so the question is the dollar going to break above and put pressure on Bitcoin again? And that is something to think about. I personally think that Bitcoin is going to find strength and momentum to the upside, but still, that dollar can keep us from rising too quickly, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Because we don't want Bitcoin to go parabolic too soon. We want Bitcoin to rise as much as possible, and that could mean us rising at a much more sustainable rate as we come back down once in a while to touch these moving averages, right? That's a healthy uptrend, right? We want to see the price action come down once in a while and retest these moving averages so that it's not detached from reality, so to speak, right? Because during the end of a bull market, before the crash, we see the price of Bitcoin. This is in 2017, before the bear market in 2018. It just moved so far away. Let's look at the linear chart. We saw it just move so far away from the moving averages and then snap back below, right? So if we move too far too soon, we could see a crash too early. And we all want to see Bitcoin go up for as long as possible, as high as possible. So coming back down to these moving averages is not necessarily a bad thing. And we've been finding great support in the daily chart, right? Most recently here, as I predicted a couple days ago or last week, I said I wanted Bitcoin to come down and find support on the 50, and it's exactly what we did. So I want to see us follow through and push up higher, just like we came down hard here, found support at the 50-day and pushed up. So that's what I'm looking for in the Bitcoin in the next few days, or really just the rest of the week. I want to see Bitcoin at the very least hold above the 50-day moving average. If we do come down, I want to see a strong bounce and a push up. It's going to be resistance around this Fibonacci level, but I think that Bitcoin, because it's consolidating in this Fibonacci for so long, it's going to have the energy to break through this channel. Sort of like we had over here. We consolidated for a while and then we pushed up higher, right? Now let's look at some of the news. Actually, let's look at the fear and greed index, right? 72, still not overbought or anything. So the way I see this is that there's still a lot of fuel left for us to push up higher before we enter greed or extreme greed, right? So still a lot, because remember when Bitcoin was going up this whole time over here, we had very very elevated levels of greed. And I don't think we've seen such long, persistent, elevated levels of greed for such a long time. So the fact that we're down here is actually a good thing, because what we're essentially doing is we're bringing Bitcoin back down to earth a little bit and resetting these oscillators so that it can have more fuel to go higher, right? In other news, Visa plans to allow partners to settle fiat transactions with crypto. So this is an ongoing, just seeing more institutions adopt Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, right? USDC, Visa partners will be able to exchange USDC over payment networks to clear transactions made in fiat currency. So yeah, just more people, more institutions adopting cryptocurrencies. In this case, it is Ethereum blockchain to settle transactions made in fiat. So we saw Ether really just rip today, especially when that news was announced right here. Just a nice candle. And oh, by the way, just a quick update on Ether, because I don't really cover alts too much. I might cover it more in the channel, but the idea is just that most alts follow Bitcoin anyway. So, but just quick review of Ether or Ethereum, looking very strong, higher lows. I want to see us follow through, push up higher as we go, trend higher to this Fibonacci channel. It's going to be some resistance, but I think that like Bitcoin, we've been consolidating for a while. In this Fibonacci channel, I think we'll have the fuel to break through. Now going back to Bitcoin, another interesting news is the NFT. The world's first NFT house sells for more than $500,000, right? It's not an actual house; it's a 3D model house. So it's very interesting. You know, we're seeing more people embrace not only NFT but digital art, and it's pretty exciting because for a long time, digital art, it was very difficult for artists to make money off of digital art, right? Because I mean, just the nature of digital art, you can easily copy it, and you know, whereas physical art, there's more of an idea of rarity in terms of like there's one painting that you can buy and own. But with NFTs, you basically have ownership there's like an ownership on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain, and everybody can see that there's like that you own that because it's in your address. So I just thought that's interesting, and I expect us to see more interesting records being broken in terms of NFT prices and just NFT items, right? People are talking about how NFT is going to go beyond art. It's going to go to things that like concert tickets and stuff like that. So very interesting to see this whole DeFi space develop. And yes, and it's interesting because in 2017, what fueled the crypto boom was ICOs, right? Alts and ICOs. Now we're seeing more like DeFi leading the movement. So it's really great to see something really and also that innovation that cryptocurrencies are bringing to the world, right? For technology and artists. And yeah, it's really interesting to see how this develops in the rest of the year. In my opinion, people are talking about how like NFT is in a bubble right now, and it probably is, but it doesn't mean it's gonna pop soon, right? I do think that NFT will continue to grow as long as Bitcoin continues to grow. Like just like we saw with the NFT CryptoKitties back in 2017, right? People were buying and breeding these virtual kitties on the Ethereum blockchain, and that was really like people were paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a CryptoKitty, right? But that also like sort of popped in 2018 when the whole market came down. So I expect this bubble to continue growing as long as Bitcoin goes up. When Bitcoin crashes, then it's probably going to come down. So just something to keep in mind. So just by the way, even though I think that Bitcoin is finding positive momentum and it'll likely continue to the upside, keep in mind that we've been talking about how this pi cycle top indicator is very, very close to crossing, right? And every time it crosses, it tends to predict the top of the market, right? Or at least in the short to medium term, if not the long term. So what do I mean by that? So obviously in 2017, we saw a cross and we saw a bear market. Then we saw a cross in December, and then we saw a bear market. But just because a cross doesn't mean we're going to be in a multi-year bear market, right? Like the last two times, because over here we also saw a cross in April of last year. And then we saw the price pull back 50%, and then we ended up going up even higher in the same year, and so we saw two crosses this year. So people are talking about how this cross over here that we're having, which also coincidentally is probably going to cross in April like we did in 2013. So we might have two crosses, one here and then as the market pulls back, it'll build momentum and go up higher above 100,000, and we might see a second cross this year. So that's what people are speculating might happen. And if we look at the price cycle top, we're very close to very close to crossing, right? Under $700 spread. So I expect this to cross within the next week, and we'll definitely update you based on how that affects the price action. You know, is the cross going to cause a big pullback, or is this going to end up being a false positive, and will the market grind higher? And honestly, I really don't know. I'm hoping that the market will shrug this off and continue higher because, like I said in previous videos, the other indicators aren't overbought yet. It's just the price cycle top. So the price cycle top might be, in a way, like a leading indicator, right? But leading indicators, they very often can give false positives. So just because it cross doesn't mean that this is over and this is the top for like the next couple of years, right? We might see a big pullback, but I expect this to continue above 100,000 for the remainder of the year. So overall, bigger picture, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin and really the whole cryptocurrency space, right? Altcoins, DeFi, NFTs, very bullish for the remainder of the year, right? As long as we continue to grind higher. And so what are our levels of support, defense, right? We want to see the price, if possible, break above 58,000 and stay above 58,000, right? And the next level obviously is going to be 60,000. And if we can stay above 60,000, then we have a chance. We have a chance to break or to go for the all-time high and to break above this Fibonacci level, the next level at 65,000. And I want to see us like just push through because we spend so much time consolidating here. I believe we'll have the energy, like a coil that's ready to explode, just push up higher, like we did here, right? Like a coil, and explode higher, right? Coil, explode higher. If not, if the price does come down, I want us to find support at the 50-day simple moving average right here, like we did the previous two times, right? Right over here. Let me do it again. Over here and over here. By the way, this pullback was way worse than this one, so I expect this to hold, right? If this can hold, then this should hold. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Overall, I am bullish on the market, but of course, just because I'm bullish doesn't mean the market's going to keep going up. So we're going to have to, I'll update you, and we'll see if this market can break above 58,000 and hold above 58,000, because then, and only then, will we have a chance. And I didn't go over the MACD, but just very quickly, things are looking pretty bullish here. We're printing smaller red candles and they're lighter, right? So that means that the momentum is shifting from sellers to buyers, like we did here, right? Like we did here, like we did here. And all times we saw the momentum shift, we saw the price move higher, right? Here, here, and as I predict and hopefully will come true, we can push up higher, up to 65,000 and beyond, right? In the RSI, we want to see this starting to make higher highs, right? Because we've been in this downtrend as the price has been moving up, so that's a bearish divergence, and we really want to see this RSI move up as we push higher, right? We don't want to see it come down because that suggests that the selling pressure or the buying pressure is starting to wane, or it is starting to wane, but it'll continue to wane if we continue to move down. But I think that this level here, around 44, is good support, and we should hold that level as we go higher, right? So anyways, I'll make another video on Wednesday, and hopefully the price will come up higher, and we'll definitely update you based on how the price cycle top indicator develops. I'm expecting a cross within a week or so, so it'll be interesting to see how the price action responds to that. But until then, trade safe and good luck on all your trades. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative or helpful, please like this video, leave a comment, and of course subscribe for updates. For everyone who subscribed so far, I just want to say thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And for everyone else who hasn't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll do my best to make the best videos, the most informative videos that I can, and I'll try to do it consistently as well. So thank you again, and I appreciate all your support. Thank you, and have a great day.